everybody, it's Cookie Monster, and in this video I'm going to be giving a quick little review, but probably not so quick if you guys know me, on Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. This book is about a man named Phileas Fogg who is very astute, and he really loves order. He likes his time schedule, his notebook that tells him who, what, when, where, why for everything he does in his life, and he has a very nice and neat little life and routine that he sticks to rigorously. And he goes to this reform club, and he eats his breakfast there and clips the paper or whatever, and he ends up starting this bet that he can go around the world in 80 days after hearing that the Bank of London was been robbed, and hearing some of his fellow club members discussing it, how the bank robber could be gone around, gone to Africa or gone to England in such and such a time. And so he ends up taking this bet upon himself and pretty much putting all of his savings, literally all of his savings that he has, into this bet. So yeah, it's a pretty good book. I actually came pretty close to DNFing this book, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I ended up really liking it. The book is actually pretty slow. I didn't actually start being interested in what I was reading until about chapter 11, 12-ish, end of 11, which is when he goes and takes an elephant ride. I'm not going to give any huge spoilers away to the outcome of this book, but little things I think most people, if you've heard about this book, you know something about it. Phileas Fogg character as a whole, I didn't really like at first. Okay, I say at first, but it was basically almost half the book. I didn't like his character, but through kind of trials on his journey across the world, you see his true character, and he just comes out shining. I don't know how to say this without being spoily, but let's just say he is a pretty awesome person, even though he's very stiff and calculating and seemingly unemotional. You just end up liking him, if not loving him, and I love his character now. But in the beginning of the book, we meet his new valet, which is, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this right, guys. This is French, but it's Passepartout. It's literally P-A-S-S, pass, and then P-O-U-R, pour, and then T-O-U-T, toot. So, I think I spelt that right. I'm going to assume I did. If I didn't, it will be down here, and the correct spelling will be evident, but it looks like Passepartout. So, kind of like passport too, but whatever, it just kind of sounds like that. His character was, I kind of find, annoying at first, but again, we learn more about him. We learn about more of his past, and the guy's got mad skills. He seems kind of like the slight dunce who wants to please people, but he's got, his smart moments, But then he just ends up being kind of awesome in his own way, and for such a small book, I mean, this is pretty small. It's only 194 pages, guys. Only 194 pages. For it being so small, the characters are really well done. There's a few side characters in here. One of them we actually meet in chapter somewhere between 12 and 14, and it's the first girl character we actually meet, by the way. While she didn't have much of a role, she ended up playing a part in their lives, and the way they meet her is absolutely amazing. The only thing I'm disappointed about in this book is that, one, it wasn't longer, and number two, there was no hot air balloon at all. Let alone something as fancy and extravagant as the one shown on this cover. Whoever, authorized this cover art obviously never read the book. There was no hot air balloon at all. He should have drawn a train, or an elephant, or a ship, or pangolin, whatever you call those things where you sit in a cart and there's a person in the front dragging it. Well, not dragging it, it's got two wheels. They're holding on and they're pulling it. You know what I mean? It's got a a word, a name thing. Okay, anything. There's so many modes of transportation used in this, but not a hot air balloon. And it's just kind of got me a little disappointed, a little sad. I just want to contact the publishing company and ask them what they thought they were doing, because it set my expectations high in the sky, but they stayed down on the ground. So there was actually, I forgot to mention this, but a lot more action than I was anticipating in a book like this. There are action scenes, there is blood, which I don't know, like, so many of these books in this era are pretty tame, but then there's up in here gunfights, and there's Indians, and there's some gory scenes. Not too much of it, only just a little bit, and nothing that, like, I would let a middle schooler read it. It's nothing bad. Oh, and another thing, both of the, you can't see it, I can guarantee it, you can't see it, but there's two little men sitting in whatever you call the basket in a hot air balloon, and they're both wearing suits and top hats, and not even Phileas Fogg wore a top hat. Like, he's not described wearing a top hat. Passport 2 doesn't wear a top hat. I don't remember anyone in this book being described wearing a top hat, unless it was maybe like his fellow club members or whatever, but there wasn't even top hats in this book. Just, who commissioned this art? Anyways, I actually ended up really enjoying this book, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I was actually not expecting to like this book, guys, because I read Journey Through the Center of the Earth, and I kind of forced myself to it, and it was more of like a 2.5, 3 stars, so yeah. But that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this more of a quick little book review. I'm trying to make my book review shorter, and I realized talking about it at the end of the video, how I wanted to make things shorter, and then explaining how I'm talking about it probably isn't the best idea, but I just did it. So I just want to remind you guys to stay safe, eat donuts, and please read good books.